What's going on, everyone? So the Houston Rockets were officially eliminated by the Golden State Warriors, and Houston is going to look to kind of reshape the roster. A lot of talks about Giannis and Kevin Durant and all that stuff. We'll see what Houston ends up doing. But Houston does have several players that do make some sense for the Lakers, and one in particular that is about to be a free agent is Steven Adams. And I think the Lakers could really use Steven Adams. He is one of the best offensive rebounders in the game. He's got the size and strength to hang with the big boys, right? He's a guy that you can throw on a Jokic or something, right? To just kind of slow him down. You're never going to stop a guy like a Jokic, but he has the size and physicality and the strength. The guy is, Aquaman, right? So he has the strength to really not get pushed around, not get bodied around, right? He is a guy that team player, knows his role, accepts his role, plays his role. I think Luka can make him look fantastic as that just kind of lob threat. You just throw it up to him, he'll go get it, right? He's got great hands, great strength, can finish around the rim, do all the things that you need him to do at the center position. Now, there are a couple things about him that are not favorable, right? Offensively, he doesn't have this offensive versatile game, right? He's not a guy that you're dumping the ball down to and he's just going to work around the rim. He is probably best suited as a backup, right? We have seen, one, he can be very injury prone, right? That is something of a concern. Two, we've seen if he starts to play too many minutes, right? We've seen times even with Memphis and stuff where he is dominant, but then you start to see that start to decline. See, he starts getting gassed and winded. Part of that could be just injuries. Part of that could just be, I don't know if it's necessarily conditioning, just because part of it could just be he's not used to playing X amount of minutes and he has to exert so much because he's fighting so hard, right? So could just be wearing him down over the course of a game or whatnot. But again, he's a guy that in a backup role, I do think regardless, even if they were to get Steven Adams, right, I think they need kind of that skilled big, right, or a big that makes more sense more long term. I mean, Steven Adams isn't 36, he's 31, be 32, but still, I think the Lakers need somebody at the starting center position that just gives you the youth, the athleticism, right? Kind of more skill big. Mark Williams type would have been perfect, but we'll see what happens this upcoming offseason. But in a backup role, I think Steven Adams makes a ton of sense, especially if you get the right skilled guy that can maybe stretch the floor a little bit. You can even go two bigs. I mean, you saw Houston, and that really gave a team like the Golden State Warriors problems running Steven Adams and Alperen Şengün, right? So you could even maybe do some things where you're running both bigs, but I think Steven Adams, even in a 15 to 20 minute a night role, could really do some damage for a team like the Lakers, especially when you have guys like Luka, LeBron, right? We'll see what they do with Austin Reeves, whether they keep Austin Reeves, trade Austin Reeves, or, having a guy that can help, one, with the defensive rebounding, but two, give you almost as many offensive rebounds and second chance points and second chance opportunities, something that the Lakers really lacked this past season, really the last several seasons, I do think can go a long way. So kind of go over his stats. In 2023, 2024, he did not play due to injury. So this year was his first year back from injury, in which he played 58 games. He started 3 of them. He averaged 13.4 minutes per game, so around 14 minutes per game. He, from the field, was 54.4%. From three-point range, he does not take any threes. Again, he's not an offensive, versatile big man that's doing all this stuff around the rim or stretching the floor or anything like that. He is exactly what you need him to be. A guy that is around the rim, that can, protect the rim and rebound like a madman. One of the best rebounders in the game. But from 2-point range on only 2.8 attempts. So he's a guy that doesn't get, most of his shots are coming from lobs or putbacks or things like that. He, again, want to be clear, he is strictly used as a rebounder, and particularly offense rebounder, to give you more opportunities. 55.2%, EFG of 54.5%, free throw shooting, terrible free throw shooter. You saw even the Warriors doing the hack Steven Adams, right? So he's a guy that you probably can't have out there during crunch time or important minutes, which again, but in a backup role, you're fine. In a backup role, I don't think that that's a big issue, right? If you're, again, spotting them in key moments, or, down the stretch, you need a key rebound, right? Or, the opposing team's taking a free throw or something, you throw them in, right? So got to be selective. And when you're doing that, but we also saw in that Warriors series at times where he even made them pay, right? As long as he's giving you, even 1 or 2, you're basically getting a point every possession. If you can play some defense, get some stops, which Lakers need more than just a center, right? They need perimeter wings and all kinds of stuff. So I'm expecting a roster rehaul. But he averaged 5.6 rebounds and 4 points per game with 1.1 assists, half a steal, half a block. Now, if you look at his per 36 numbers, which per 36 don't tell you everything, but it gives you an idea of like if he was getting starter level minutes, right? Like what would his production be? And he would be a 10 point, 15 rebound, including 7.5 offensive rebounds to 7.3 defensive rebounds. So more offensive rebounds than defensive rebounds. 3 assists, a steal, and then 1.3 blocks per game. And again, that is on a per 36 basis. But this is a guy that in essentially 15 minutes of action can go and give you 4 offense rebounds per game. So for his career, he is a 3.6 offensive rebounds and 4.4 defensive rebound guy per game on 8 rebounds per game. And that is on a career 25.8 minutes per game. Now you look at the Memphis season, right before he ended up missing the season. In 42 games, he was 8.6 points and 11.5 rebounds, including 5.1 offensive rebounds. That would be ridiculous. Now, again, like I said, the last few seasons, again, he's had years where he's played, 28 minutes a game, right? But you've seen over the last few years, which is why I kind of go, I wonder if it's because of injuries or what, where, he has kind of gotten winded. He has kind of gotten gassed. I also think it would help being on a team like the Lakers where you're kind of playing more half-court sets, half-court actions, right? So he's not having to sprint up and down the court, right? Like you get a young Memphis team or even a young Houston team, and they just want to gun, right? Like they just want to run and gun. And where the Lakers, I do think Steven Adams would be more valuable to a team like the Lakers because you got LeBron, you got Luka, and if you keep Austin Reeves, you got Austin Reeves in the half-court setting, right? Lakers are going to run more half-court actions. They're not going to be as run and gun as some of these younger teams, right? Maybe if the Lakers get some youth, get some athleticism, maybe you have different lineups that give you that. But having a guy like Steven Adams is exactly what this needs, right? Like one of the things that I want to see from the Lakers is kind of get back to the 2020 big man unit, right? Now, I'm not saying that obviously there's only one Anthony Davis out there. Lakers are probably not going to be able to get a guy anywhere close to Anthony Davis, but we use Mark Williams as an example, right? If you could get, say, trade for a Mark Williams, now you got your skilled big, right? Now you got your Anthony Davis. Again, he's not Anthony Davis, but I'm saying in the sense of like the type of actions you can run, more skilled offensively, a guy that could be a 20-10 guy without Luka. Imagine what Luka can make him be, right? So you're talking about you have your skilled big that can do multiple things out there on the offensive side of things, play some defense, rebound the basketball, do a little bit of everything, right? Then have a guy in like a Steven Adams who can be your Dwight Howard, right? Big, physical, strong center that can bang with the big boys, that can give you, just good, hard playoff fouls, that can help rebound, offensive rebound, right? And do kind of the dirty work side of things. And then if you wanted to keep a Jackson Hayes as like your JaVale McGee, well, then now you have Jackson Hayes for, let's say you do go get a bunch of young athletes. Let's say you do get 2 or 3 young guys and you want to just play this run and gun game, right? Well, now that's where Jackson Hayes might be beneficial. That's where Jackson Hayes can kind of come in, saw it in, play 10 minutes, 12 minutes, whatever, and you can just kind of blitz teams out of the gym and kind of run this fast-paced offense, right? But you have these kind of different skilled bigs based on the assignment, right? So again, you have a Mark Williams who can do a little bit of everything out there, knock down the little mid-range, right? Steven Adams, right? You could even kind of do the Şengün Steven Adams thing with Mark Williams in a Steven Adams, right? Have both of them out there at times kind of operating off of each other, right? Steven Adams is good at rebounding and getting it out to shooters and stuff, takes care of the basketball. Like those are the things that you want. And now you just have this kind of array of big men rather than it's just like Jackson Hayes and that's it, right? Now, look, I don't think Steven Adams is like the be-all, end-all, but I do think he is one of the better options, particularly for a backup role for what the Lakers need, right? I don't want it to be something where the Lakers get Steven Adams and that's it. It's like, oh, okay, we got Steven Adams, Jackson Hayes, right? Like, I don't, like, I still think you're in trouble. You need to get that legit center. Like, you need to get that guy that, you can trust, rely on, play 25 minutes, whatever, a night, and then Steven Adams is coming in and playing the other 15, and then maybe you're going small ball for the other 8 to 10, whatever, right? Like, something like that. Now you have that array, and then you got Jackson Hayes, or to get another big, whatever, right? Like, that is kind of the approach I'd like to see the Lakers take, but I do think Steven Adams is somebody that should be high on the Lakers board as far as, like, backup centers, right? Because like I said, I believe the Lakers need 2 centers. I believe they need a clear-cut starting caliber center, and then you need that clear-cut backup that can come in on any given night, could start, play a role, right? And I think Steven Adams on Mark Williams gets the night off. Boom, Steven Adams is out there and he can have as big, if not maybe on some cases, some nights, a bigger impact. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle. How do you feel either way? I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.